Okay.
Da.
Do it on the 2 bits. Got to get
It's
2
like
bits.
In the office when the episode The Dinner Party at Michael's townhouse where he's doing the little clap for my turn. He's like, my turn. My turn.
What are we
It's like
talking about?
not actually like any sort of rhythm or tune whatsoever.
Was this after Michael had left the show?
This was after Michael Scott left the show.
There you go. Now I understand.
Yeah. Now you get it.
Is this the British Office?
Oh God, I hated the British Office.
Did you see?
I can't watch the British Office anymore. I think we've discussed this on the show. I just can't watch it anymore because the US one is so much better.
Did you see Winnie, Ethan's daughter, just had a birthday? Did you see this? He posted this on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
Winnie, I did see this.
Winnie just had a birthday and she's apparently like way into The Office right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So they got Oscar to do a cameo.
Yeah.
Did you actually watch it?
I didn't watch it yet. No.
It's super cute.
That's
it's
awesome.
real. Yeah. It's like it was really cute and really funny. And like, he actually just talked to her for a while. Like he just kind of kept having a chat. It was really cute. And I mean, it was one of those things where you could kind of tell that he was delighted to have this like young teenage kid who was like really into the show. And yeah, it was actually really cute and really sweet. So
that's cool. We all get old enough to have teenagers, by the way.
I didn't.
Not yet. Oh my God.
Not yet. You're not that far away. Trust me. And it creeps up on you.
Oh, sadly. A solid, 5 years to go? Well,
not that long.
4
in a bit.
4 and 9 months. 4 years and 9 months or so.
Yeah. So, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome to episode 736 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Pretty good. Got the tree up. Got the place decorated for Christmas, and yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, feeling good.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna say though, my kids' Christmas vacation we got a surprise extension on it.
Oh.
Like on Thursday, they announced like, oh, by the way, Christmas vacation is starting early and lasting longer.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like those of you who were, because originally they were getting like halfway through the week of Christmas and then going back the Monday after New Year's Day. And now they're done this week and not back till like the 11th.
Oh,
so it's like a 3-week.
Wow.
Vacation.
All right.
Good for them. But, wasn't really planning for that. So,
we discovered that we've worked through our curriculum too fast.
We're just that good.
You guys are awesome.
My goodness.
Break. Wow. Huh. Okay. And joining me from the great state of Washington, where we just have a 2-week break, regular break. There.
Oh, well,
Mr. Filthy Evolved. Not supersized like up in Canada.
Yeah, we don't need.
Smart.
We can concentrate all of our celebrating into a smaller, more efficient amount of time.
There you go.
You know what we're doing? We're doing the holiday crunch.
Nothing if not efficient.
We're doing the holiday crunch. We're working longer hours to get jolly. So
I think that's a Daft Punk song.
Up all night to get jolly.
Sounds like the Mini Pops version of that song.
You mean the Kids Bop?
Kid friendly version of that. Yeah,
it is Kids Bop.
Up all night to get jolly.
Well, what with traveling kind of out the window and whatnot, this Christmas break is going to be a lot of togetherness.
That's called
a lot of
togetherness. CJ.
Yeah, but togetherness with, your lovely little family, not having to deal with
I've seen enough of them over the past.
Wow. Wow.
Just
Charlotte,
kidding.
if you're listening,
she's not listening.
Your father's terrible.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Man, oh man.
But it's gonna be a lot of togetherness during the holidays. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already a lot of togetherness.
That's kind of the thing that happens. Yeah.
Is this the
That's
episode where
2020.
CJ?
But now you don't have to argue with your
slowly
racist old
breaks.
uncle.
This is all about CJ's feelings.
CJ's gonna snap by the end of the show. We're gonna
Probably.
the outro is just gonna be CJ ranting about how much he hates his family.
No,
we're all having a good time here.
I don't think we've ever managed to capture
very
that on tape.
together. It's great.
it's fantastic.
I mean, it'd be nice
Wonderful.
maybe if I had an hour by myself every now and again, but I love my family.
Well, they let me
awful
play.
people who I hate.
They let me
so
play
much.
video games
Oh, good.
every now and again. Yeah.
Good.
Every now and again. How many hours do you have logged on Sea of Thieves?
I don't want to talk about it. It's they did a
Oh no!
every
I'm
year
sorry.
Sea of
I want to
Thieves does this
apologize
thing.
Thanks,
to the
Greg.
listeners.
Every year they do this thing where they give you your pirate like readout, basically like all the things you did that year.
Just
Yeah,
like
like
old
they
pirates.
did back, like they did in real pirate days.
In pirate times, yeah.
Yeah.
Only it was a
And,
top matrix
uh,
printer back then.
So like I think last year or the year before, like they did the first year they did it, they had your hours played. The second year they did it, they didn't. And then so this
Didn't wanna
year
shame
they
you.
did again have hours played.
Uh-oh.
Take a guess. Take a guess
2,000.
how many
Yeah, you gotta
many
you had
hours?
to have broken 2,000 by now,
between
right?
January 1st and
Oh, it's just for
November
this year.
30th.
Oh, is this
this year.
cumulative
I don't
or
know how
just
many
this
hours-
year?
year.
Oh, just
Can
this
I
year.
get a how many hours have there been between January 1st and November 30th?
You don't want to
'Cause
calculate.
I don't want
that. Don't.
my guess to be
Don't.
ridiculous, but I
No.
also
Well,
know that it's
Greg,
pretty high.
Greg, in 1 year. Now this is not
Mm,
this is you said it goes till November 30th?
yeah,
Okay, so I mean
11 months.
okay, 11 months. So this is 12 months.
Mhm.
There are 8,760 hours in a year.
You played about 1,000 hours.
I'm going to go the temptation is to say 1. If we're going to do.
This is the Price is Right.
Oh,
We're not
okay.
doing Price is Right rules.
whoever's
Closest
closest.
without going over, yeah.
No,
Uh,
yeah,
I'm going to say I mean, keep in mind cuz he's not
Look and
working.
See what it is.
That's what I mean.
He's not working right now. I mean, he was pulling 1,000
And I don't
on
think
years when he was working.
and I mean, you got to remember too that we had the pandemic, so his crewmates probably went months without going into the office, so they had lots of free time too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He's had 1,000 hours on a good year,
Yeah.
like when he was
That's what I mean.
working. So I'm gonna say 12. I'm gonna say 1,200 hours in 11 months.
1,200.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you.
You do know me. That
What's
is
the
true.
answer?
However, the answer is 828
Oh,
hours.
see, I should have went with
It's-
1.
CJ, I want to say that's still pretty uncomfortably close to 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
It's still pretty
How
close.
eight
true.
800 what?
828.
You
8?
you had
Not
you
the highest of.
I was
people
going to
that
say
I've
you had
sailed
a
with.
dalliance with a couple other games this year too, right?
That is
Well,
that
that's
is
true.
almost 12 straight days.
12 straight days
That is-
of.
That is nearly 12
Wow.
straight days.
Yeah.
I wonder if I've played
think
that
that-
month that much in general this year.
That's my goodness.
It's a lot of hours. Yeah. But I feel good about it. Going into next year. Looking to top
Good enough.
2021. I think
Smart
I'll
enough.
top that.
Jeez Louise.
right. That's what I'm looking to break my record. Looking to break my record. I think it was definitely higher the first 2 years.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the
could
total
you
again?
possibly have left to
828.
do in that game?
820.
It isn't about
hours.
things left to do in the game anymore at this point.
It can't
I've-
be.
I've done a lot of things in the game. There's only like 2 things I haven't.
Oh no,
seen
I'm
in
sorry.
the game.
It's almost 35 days.
There you go.
Straight days. Yeah. I don't know what typed in.
You've played a month
Uh.
of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, a solid month.
In an
Sure.
11-month period, you played a month of Sea
yeah,
of Thieves.
yeah.
That's
right. Yeah.
frightening.
It's
Yeah.
not that what? No.
No, it is.
No.
It is pretty. It's pretty.
That
bad.
is
it's not.
one
It's not.
1 month. One
Yeah.
entire month you spent
I'm
in
okay with
that
that
video
I'm
game.
okay with that. Yeah. I'm good with it.
So I mean,
Goodness
when you
gracious.
that's so you're saying like when you break that down to waking hours,
let's not.
It's well over 10%. Well over 10% of your waking hours this year have been spent on
the amount of time that I've played Sea of Thieves. Let's maybe roll on to the news. I mean,
this is
me
the
playing
news.
Sea of Thieves a lot is old news. Let's go back into
this feels like news that we want to share with
Yeah.
some sort of organized, like government family welfare organization.
Yeah,
like,
really.
No. Some of those hours were with Charlotte. We're playing with Charlotte.
Well, then that makes it okay.
Yeah.
See? So wait, how many hundreds of hours did you let your daughter play of this video game? Because that almost seems like it'd be more damning.
No, not 828. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
All right.
CJ's getting a little Arlen, Texas on us here. My goodness.
That's right.
I tell you what. A dang old Sea of Thieves.
Dang old pirating. All right.
Bobber. Sorry.
Anyway, let's get into the news. There were a couple things that happened last week, including the Game Awards, but let's run through some of these other things first. So the Scott Pilgrim game that Ubisoft is going to re-release comes out on January 14th, a very special day, not only because it is the release of this video game, but it is also the birthday of one Mr. Phil Theobald.
The day the world was graced with my presence.
How do you feel about that? One of your favorite games
about being blessed upon the world.
A re-release of one of your most anticipated game releases happening on your very birthday.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a very important day. Very important day.
Yeah.
And you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone.
You didn't really do anything.
No, you didn't. Talked about it on the podcast.
I talked about this on the podcast and
maybe tweeted.
And Ubisoft. You got
Francois Ubi on the horn.
Francois Ubi, the president of Ubisoft, said,
that's not accurate.
We have to. It is time to bring this game back to the mouthies, for Philippe has said so on his podcast.
And why can't your Frenchman speak use any S's or T's? That's
I don't know if you've ever been to France, Greg.
I have actually.
I have been to France too.
You know,
I've been to France.
I have not, but I've heard
where you were knowledgeable.
I've heard more caricatures. So I think it's great.
I've seen a lot of Gerard Depardieu movies.
What has he done? Has he made a movie in like the past?
I'm sure he's in another Asterix
25
movie,
years. Oh yeah, they're doing. He was an Asterix
movie,
wasn't
he?
He was.
There was an Asterix movie.
Of course, there was
a live action. Yeah, there was, and he was Obliques. Is that the
Obelix?
Obelisk. Yeah, not oblique.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oblique.
I've never actually read. I have that Asterix game that came out on Switch.
But there was no voice sampling.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Pronounce the name, so you don't know how to say it.
Remember.
All right. Well, 343 Industries posted in a blog entry that Halo Infinite has officially delayed to fall 2021.
That's insane.
They're continuing to work on it. They put out some new screenshots, which look good. I mean, I thought the game looked good anyway, but
yeah,
but it's looking good. They've taken a lot of the criticism and critique that they got after the July footage to heart and have done some improvements. So yeah, I'm excited about Halo. Yeah, whenever it wants to come out, I'm fine with that. Whenever. Yeah. So the Nintendo Switch has outsold everything unit wise in November.
Of course it has, because you can actually find Nintendo Switches in the stores.
That's accurate. So how did they sell? They sold like 1.3 million units of Switch in November.
This is
making it the best
in the United States?
In the United States, yes.
Okay.
In the United States, topping the PlayStation 5. However, PlayStation 5, if you're counting it by revenue, PlayStation 5 made more, obviously, because it's more expensive than the Switch.
Is that why they're saying that it's the most successful console launch in history, or is that based on sales numbers?
Oh, no. It is based on unit sales. Yeah. I believe that is based on unit sales. Most successful console launch in history is PlayStation 5. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing, considering you can't find one. Can you imagine how much more successful it would be if you could actually buy one?
I know, right? Yeah. So there's that.
Telltale. I'm just reading the chat, and Jeff Grubb it just strikes me as funny. He says, "I'm making my family listen to you while we drive around to look for Christmas lights." I love that you're looking for Christmas lights, not looking at Christmas lights. Like, what kind of terrible neighborhood do you live in that nobody put Christmas lights out?
Have you not done that though? Like,
driven around looking for them, and
a neighborhood in your city where like the whole block does like a crazy Christmas light spectacular thing.
Right, for sure. But I'm just saying the way he worded around, the way he worded it was just like, Anyway,
I think for the benefit of Jeff Grubb's family right now, I'm gonna make your Christmas drive a little more festive.
No. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Ding.
It's not working. It's not working.
Well, I mean, Greg got into the spirit. He knew you got to join in.
Yeah,
we were going to do a round, but
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Grumpity.
Not. Yeah.
Jeez. You know what, CJ?
What?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You're a stinky, crappy fart.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right with that. So Telltale. You remember Telltale?
Telltale Games creators.
Yeah, so I saw this on the outline. I didn't know they still existed. I thought they didn't exist.
Yeah,
anymore.
they announced The Wolf Among Us 2 like 2 years ago. You remember that? Game Awards?
But then they went into business.
A clever ruse.
Clever
my
ruse.
Friend, meant
clever ruse
to bring people's defenses down while they secretly worked.
They're back. It's almost as if they never left, really. But people were expecting some Wolf Among Us 2 action at the Game Awards. Obviously, that did not happen. But they have a little announcement that they're still working on that game, and they have decided to move away from episodic releases.
Well, that makes sense because their episodic releases were infuriating.
Agreed.
I love the idea of it, and if they were able to stick to a schedule, it would have been fantastic. But when you're waiting months upon months for the next episode of something,
Here's my question to you. What is the right schedule for an episodic games release? Because we did have earlier this year, Tell Me Why did an episodic release. And they actually I think released those on time. It was between August and September. But I don't know that there was like enough time for people to have played the first chapter to like start talking about the second. Like, I don't think it got necessarily as much buzz as some of those early Walking Dead seasons did.
I mean, I think you can debate what the right schedule is for something. I would say a month by month.
Yeah.
But the problem with Telltale Games was there was no schedule.
Right.
That was the problem.
There was a schedule on paper. They just never met it.
They never stuck to.
They never stuck to it. Yeah. And it was like 50% off.
That's just what
the second episode.
Problem.
Yeah.
And that was the problem because you incentivize people to buy the entire season, pre-order the entire season, which to me made perfect sense. But then you take so long that by episode 3, everything's been discounted so far that it was cheaper to wait.
Exactly.
Not to mention that anybody who was so excited that they pre-ordered the whole thing is frustrated because they've been waiting months for episode 4 to hit.
Yeah.
And then by the time you play episode 2 and then episode 3 comes out like 5 months later, and it's just like, I don't remember what happened. Yeah.
I have a similar problem with DLC for some games that come out like 6 months, a year later. It's like,
you forget the play mechanics and
I don't
stuff
even
like
remember
that.
how to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
so I guess I should say they're saying that they're developing the entire season at once, I guess whether they release it that way all at once, I would assume.
To me, that was always the way they should have done it, was get the whole thing done.
Yeah.
And then if you want to release it episodically, do it.
Yeah.
But don't push the episodes out as they're finished, because you're just asking for schedule to fall apart.
World of hurt.
One other good thing about this Telltale coming back is now I saw some of their old games that have since that were ages ago delisted are now available again on like Steam and such. The Strong Bad game, which is fantastic. The Strong Bad game is really fun if you are a Homestar runner.
It was kind of the one that put them on the map, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember people talking, not going crazy over it, but people talking about it.
I mean, this wasn't Sam and Max their first episodic game?
I thought that was after.
I thought Sam and Max was the first one. I might be wrong, but
it's happened.
But once or twice. But and the Wallace and Gromit game is back as well, which really surprised me, because I know like the guys who created Homestar Runner had been wanting their that game to get back into circulation forever. But I figured that they had lost the license with Aardman for the Wallace and Gromit game years ago, so I just kind of figured that was,
I guess they got it back,
gone.
This iteration of Telltale is, I think, some of the same people, but they had to basically start from scratch. I believe the assets of the old Telltale were sold to somebody else, and then this is like new, so they had to buy some things back.
Right. Yeah.
So.
You were right, by the way. Yes, Sam and Max was first.
Yeah, I thought so, because that was the one everyone was like, ooh, because that's a beloved LucasArts game, kind of getting the return. And but
Strong Bad was after the second Sam and Max season.
Okay. And then obviously they got like the Jurassic Park and
I remember Jurassic Park being wasn't that the one that they released all 4 episodes at once, though?
Possibly,
because it was with the release of one of the movies.
It was also not very good.
And it wasn't good, and I was so bummed. I was so excited about that.
Yeah,
especially because it was on the heels of Back to the Future, which the Back to the Future series was fantastic.
That was a really good game.
Well done.
Yeah,
and then Jurassic Park came out, and it was like all 4 episodes at once. Which, whatever. I mean, at least you weren't waiting for them, but boy, were they disappointing.
I was a bit bummed out by the Wallace and Gromit game, just because they did not get the guy who actually voices Wallace in the shorts to do the voice.
Was he wearing pants?
They were the wrong trousers. The wrong trousers. Ever
I get it.
They've gone wrong, Gromit.
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit is wonderful. I love Wallace and Gromit, but they had like the kind of like backup voice actor reading Wallace's lines, and he's just I forget the fellow who was originally Wallace, who I think he died semi recently, but just wasn't as good as the original voice actor.
I see.
There you
go.
A
now deleted tweet has revealed that Sonic the Hedgehog is coming to Netflix in 2022 in a new 3D animated series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can tell by the look on your faces that you are excited.
Has there been a good Sonic animated series?
Unbridled excitement from both
of
you.
Has there been a good Sonic animated series?
So much so that Greg had to turn off his camera. He's celebrating in some kind of way.
I know the 90s kids really were into that Saturday morning Sonic cartoon back in the day.
I don't think I ever watched any of them.
I tried watching the 2 Sonic cartoons that came out back in the day, where it was
the ones based on the
where
Archie.
It was the Archie comics type stuff with Urkel, Jael White doing the voice, and I did not like them.
Well, then there was Sonic X.
Sonic X was the anime one,
and then
Sonic Boom was the most recent one, using.
And there's an OVA in there if you want to go full anime.
Yes. Which I did like the OVA. I did enjoy the OVA back in the day where he fights Metal Sonic.
Yeah.
And actually, Finn watched a little bit of the Sonic Boom cartoon.
It was terrible.
That's the one. There were some funny bits in that.
You know what though? The first couple episodes were generally so bad that I just completely checked out.
There were some bits in that show that were actually kind of funny. I mean, I certainly didn't watch a lot of it, but every now and again I'd catch Finn watching a bit of it, and there'd be some.
And you punish him.
There'd be some funny jokes in it. So what are you gonna do?
Like, this is a Mario household. If it's not Super Mario Brothers Super Show, then it's nothing.
I mean, wow. He watched some of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show as well, and let's not kid ourselves. That show was
pretty bad,
remarkably bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got the kitsch value because of the live action sequences. But
are you telling me that something that I loved back in the day, when watched in the
Did you actually?
It was bad back then
2020. That it's not good.
Did you love the Super Mario Brothers Super Show back in the day?
I thought it was okay. Yeah,
I loved it because it was Nintendo.
Yeah, I liked it because it was video games on television. And
I remember. I remember watching it back. I remember being super excited about it because holy crap, a Mario cartoon! This is gonna be great. And I remember watching the first episode, and if I remember correctly, I believe I actually watched it while on the phone with one of my friends.
You live snarked the
Super
Mario
Brothers. You know who it was, CJ? It was my friend Jim.
Oh, okay.
Because Jim was my big video game.
Everybody who
friend.
Doesn't know Jim.
Exactly.
Who's
Everybody knows Jimmy.
Jim, star of the Dark Knight.
Star of the Dark Knight.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I know of Jim.
Yes.
One of your friends is a background actor.
He is.
Who just so happened to be in the Dark Knight. And I have seen him pop it up in other things, and it's very disconcerting.
Yeah. Well, he's also, you know what else he's been in?
Jim.
You know what else he is in frequently? I don't know how frequently, but
police custody.
Well, I'm not legally allowed to talk about that.
Wow.
What's that? Super Show? Is that a
Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
Superstar?
No, not Superstore.
Superstore.
TBS. That sitcom about like a fake Walmart.
He's in that. I have to start watching that now.
He's one of the.
There's a sitcom called Superstore that's about a fake Walmart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird because there's a store here called Superstore.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Is it like a fake Walmart?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, not related.
Mostly a grocery store.
Yeah. This I don't know if I've never actually seen the show, so I don't know if the store in Superstore is actually called Superstore.
Right. I don't think so, actually.
I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, Jim is one of the kind of like background employees.
Oh, really? That's so funny.
Yeah. And like his character has a name. I don't know if I'm assuming he's never spoken, but his character actually has a name. Like if you look up like Superstore Wiki, which I believe there is, like his character
on there.
Yeah, it's like,
That's funny.
Here's his character. Here's what episodes he shows up in. It's very weird. But yeah, I believe
so
Jim and
I
believe Jim and I were, because we were so excited because we loved Nintendo.
Sure. Oh my god.
And holy crap, a Mario cartoon. This is going to be the best. And yeah, I think we were on the phone chatting with each other while we watched it. And very quickly we both kind of agreed, like, this doesn't seem very good.
I'm gonna hang up the phone and go do some chores.
You just want to talk about what was in this month's Nintendo Power now, because we're both kind of bored with this show that is very clearly aimed at people significantly younger than we are.
Yeah,
a couple of like freshman nerds.
Oh, I think I was in junior high.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, yeah. If Phil was a freshman, you were definitely in junior high.
Yeah.
That's how time works.
That's just time right there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the age difference between us now, shockingly close to the age difference between us back then.
I mean, there's probably a
little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
But, we're talking very, very short increments of time.
Uh-huh.
But, so there you go.
Well, anyway, new Sonic the Hedgehog series coming to Netflix.
Cool. So let's hope it's good.
Goes. Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's hope it's good.
So should we talk about the Game Awards? Greg, I know you were very excited to share this list of winners with our audience. I wasn't going to share
the whole list. That was for your reference.
Okay.
Jerk
all
store.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Game do the rundown.
Do the rundown. Come on, give us a rundown.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing through the whole list. That's crazy.
Well,
but I mean,
what did you want to talk about in regard to the Game Awards?
Okay. Well, I mean, I just wanted to say, like, the big winners, like The Last of Us Part 2, which I think we all knew was going to happen.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. They won everything. It won everything. Game of the Year, Action Adventure, Best Performance.
Yep.
Best Narrative, Audio Design.
Best Performance is Laura Bailey, specifically, as Abby.
Best Game Direction.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Remake got Best Score and Best Role-Playing Game.
Mm-hmm.
Hades got Best Action and Best Indie Game. And my personal favorite of the games that won multiple awards was Among Us for Best Multiplayer and Best Mobile. Mostly because, I think they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, boy, that game was just super popular this year. It really caught fire.
No, it really did.
And B, they were crazy excited to win the couple times that they were on. They were so, I mean, they were almost in tears. It was awesome to watch.
Among Us
is not a game that came out this year.
It came out like in 2018.
2 years old, right?
Yep.
So why is it winning?
Really took off this year because I think that makes perfect sense.
I mean, I'm, it's the video game awards, so who friggin' cares?
Right.
Give Game of the Year to Mega Man 2. Well, I'd be all for it.
Right.
But it just seems weird that it's like, oh yeah, it's all the games that came out in 2020, except for this one that came out 2 years ago. But it was
But I mean, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, nobody played it
though.
back when it came out.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting though, because when in 2020, but now in general, modern gaming, some games have such a long shelf life, and it's not. I mean, I'm not talking about something like a Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart 8 has been around for how many years now?
Right.
But like these games are constantly changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and when you're talking about something like Best Ongoing Game, so many games now are presented in a service-like format where they're getting updates. Right. And maybe they came out 3 years ago, but they're still getting new content and they're still relevant to those audiences, right?
Right.
That mean that
it's the same reason that you're seeing like Fortnite on nominee lists too. And No Man's Sky picked up an award. Now that was the best ongoing, but I mean that's been ongoing for a long time now as well.
Which honestly, that was a great win as well, because Fortnite was in that category, and the look on Sean Murray's face when they won, which is like the middle of the night in the UK,
surprised.
He seems legit surprised and was not expecting to be making a speech about that. But No Man's Sky also great updates recently, and I think it's totally deserving. In fact, that's what I voted for. You do the little ballot on the Game Awards website. I did that about a week ago, and I voted for No Man's Sky. I did.
Did you?
I did.
Well,
yeah.
So it was all your fault.
You put it over the top.
Yep. I put it over the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it, Phil. I mean, it is sort of feels odd.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that it's a product of what gaming is now. So many of these games are services, and so many of these games go through such massive reworks and
and
redesigns.
Hades was not new this year either. It came out of early access, but it
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was in early access for a year or two.
Early access is like glorified beta though, right? I mean,
but it's
the actual release
game
is
release.
This year. But the actual release was this year.
You're right.
I mean, if you want to go by that, isn't Fortnite still technically in beta?
Is it?
Yes.
I think they say it's still in beta.
It still says that.
I mean, Minecraft was in beta for a few years.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. So
I mean, again, it's the video game awards. It's a big commercial.
Yeah.
It's one giant commercial with smaller commercials mixed in.
To clarify, are you saying that it's one big commercial as a negative point, or are you like, it's one big commercial, hooray, I get to see game trailers of things that are just being announced tonight?
Man, it's all just consumerism, man. It's all,
Here we go.
Because honestly,
the man trying to sell crap you don't need to people who can't afford it, man.
We have seen the Game Awards.
Yeah.
evolve from what it was on Spike TV to what it is now. Honestly, I think it's a much better show now, even though it gets every year it gets its critics. But when it was trying to be what it was when Jamie Kennedy was hosting on Spike TV.
Oh my God!
Back in the early 2000s, it was a completely different.
We need more Jamie Kennedy hosting video game stuff.
I don't know.
I don't need more Jamie Kennedy anything. No, I think so too. I mean, it's definitely got its flaws. I think they did a good job this year of doing the show under these circumstances, and actually Jeff tweeted out a picture about the sort of the mechanics behind that as well.
I could not believe they did the whole thing. They had people on Zoom ready to accept their awards. I expected like people to do pre-recorded things or whatnot, but it seemed like they all did them live.
Oh yeah,
and it went off without a hitch, pretty much.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. It was great.
And for the record, I am saying it's one big commercial, just as a statement of fact. It's not a criticism.
Not a criticism. Okay.
It's not a.
And you're right. I mean, what are awards shows if not exactly that?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Like you could say that about every single one.
This was a big ad for Last of Us 2 and a big ad for Final Fantasy, and it's a big ad for all the.
I don't even think I would go that far.
Stay tuned for our Game of the Year show in about 2 weeks.
Actually, absolutely. But we don't have advertisers though.
I don't know that it was. I would say it's a big ad for Last of Us 2 or Final Fantasy Remake. I mean, I think that is actually the legit awards side of the show. I mean, I guess you could say any awards show is an advertisement if you're going to look at it from that perspective.
That's what we just said. Yes,
I think that the
Last of Us only won because Hideo Kojima didn't do any games this year for his.
I kept waiting for him to make some kind of appearance.
For his buddy to give him the awards.
What was it? The PC version of Death Stranding came out this year, didn't it?
Oh, crap.
Last year.
If Among Us counts for the 2020 awards, surely.
Yeah. Maybe that was last year.
My friend Mr. Kojima made a game that came out on PC this year.
There you go.
I will say that I think the balance between awards, and I would like to see the balance between awards and trailers be a little bit more balanced.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't think that makes it a bad show. I think you know, for the years that we've been watching this, for anybody who has been watching it for years, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't think what you're getting is necessarily bad either. I mean, I enjoy seeing what.
This year we didn't have E3. Please let us have
a
7-hour-long show filled with video game trailers, because that's all I need.
I wasn't tuning in to see who was winning all the awards. I was tuning in to see the new video game trailers.
Exactly.
You know, and as long as you understand that's what you're getting, then that's what that's what it is.
I needed that hit of E3. I needed that.
Right.
Something
I do wish though
they would do it.
Talking about the balance, though, I do wish that they decide whether they want to do the whole pageantry of an award or not, because, like, you know, they had some presenters who, you know, and the winner is, and they'd open an envelope and do the whole like sort of Academy Awards style, you know,
Nolan North,
the big build up and everything like that. But then when they got to categories that they just needed to get out of the way, all the pomp and circumstance is gone. And it's just like, you know, and these are the nominees and they won. And these are the nominees and they won. And these are the nominees and they won. And it's like they would do little blocks of awards like that. And it's you almost wanted to see it go more like the Academy Awards, where they would say like, and earlier tonight, so and so won this for this category, you know, and it's like they haven't found that balance.
It's still just Jeff Keighley. He's only one man. He can only do so
much.
much.
A couple presenters though.
You're right, there was.
But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I watched it for the trailers, and I don't think it disappointed. There was some cool stuff shown.
Some very cool stuff.
I thought. There was also a whole lot of 4-player squad-based shooters.
What is this? Some kind of trend or something?
It seems like a trend. I don't know. CJ, you've got your finger on the pulse. What do you? And the other thing was, so I restreamed the thing. I was an official co-streamer of the awards. So you know.
Look at you.
Because I sent an email 30 minutes beforehand on their forum, and they said yes. Oh yeah, Jeff, man, the Seinfeld thing where you're wearing the really white sneakers with a suit. Oh,
he's done that for years, though.
I know, but
it's years. That is the personification of Jeff Keighley is suit and sneakers.
He needs some shoes. Anyway, I forget what else. Oh yeah, so I was co-streaming it. And CJ just kept ruining every trailer.
What are you talking about?
Because he would say, "Oh, it's like, hey, look, that sky's purple. This is the new Perfect Dark." I was like, "What? What are you even talking about?" And he was always right. So anyway,
that's right. Yeah, the one thing I was wrong on was they showed off the last trailer of the night. They were going through like galaxies, and it kind of was like the beginning of that movie Contact with Jodie Foster. And
I love that. That's where you went. You know how old that movie is?
I was like, Starfield. This is Starfield, because they were seeing Starfields, and no, it was not Starfield. It was Mass Effect instead. But they had like just announced that they're doing another Mass Effect like on N7 Day, so it felt kind of weird that we're going to see another trailer for, hey, we're working on Mass Effect.
Starfield's favorite food is space lasagna.
Wow. Now I want a shirt that's the Starfield logo and the Garfield logo font. Please make this happen.
Oh, God.
So there are no Mondays in space, though. So
no Mondays in space.
Yeah.
What trailers got you pumped, CJ?
So I had a couple stories here coming out of the Game Awards that I thought would maybe be interesting to talk about. First of all, Capcom is doing something called the Arcade Stadium.
Oh my God.
And it's coming out in February. It's going to be like a free to start kind of thing on Switch, I believe, is the platform. Comes with 1943, and then you buy packs of other games.
3 or 4 packs.
Right. Yes.
So that seemed interesting to me that kind of thing is coming back.
None of which feature the Mega Man arcade games, which I thought was odd.
Thank goodness for that.
What?
It doesn't mean that'll never happen, though. You've got
Mega Man arcade games.
Keep hope alive, Phil. Keep hope alive.
Oh, come on.
But I mean, I'm trying to find a list of the games. It's like 32 games.
Yeah, it's
like Street Fighter.
And the packs are like a dozen or half dozen games. Like it's good, decent stuff.
Hang on a sec. I got a list here.
Okay.
Except I got to customize cookies first. God damn it.
Oh my goodness. Customize your cookies.
I accept all cookies.
I accept your terms.
I don't want to accept cookies. Okay, so 1940s 1 through 4 and 19XX.
Okay.
Are we really going to read all?
Yeah, well, there's not that many. Battle Circuit, Bionic Commando, Captain Commando, Carrier Air Wing. That's pretty cool. Commando, Cyberbots, Dynasty Wars, Final Fight, Forgotten Worlds, Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, Giga Wing, Legendary Wings, Mega Twins, Pirate Ship Higemaru.
Ooh, Pirate Ship?
Yep.
There you go.
Get ready.
Powered Gear, Pro Gear, Section Z, Senjo no Okami 2, Street Fighter 2, World Warrior, Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighting, Strider, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Tatakai no Banka, Varth, Operation Thunderstorm, Vulgus, and Warriors of Fate.
Yep.
Some good stuff.
So, some good stuff in there.
Some stuff in there
I've never heard of.
Yep. Yeah. Which is why they're all in packs.
Yep.
Sure.
Get ready to be disappointed. People who have never played the Bionic Commando arcade game.
Yep. Oh. Which is why they're all in packs.
Because boy, oh boy, Bionic Commando on NES is so very good.
Yeah.
But that arcade game,
not so much.
Not as much.
Not so
different
much.
game.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was excited to see it. And also Ghosts and Goblins, although Micah said
you're talking about Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection?
Which Micah said it perfectly on Twitter when he called out that remakes like this, why do they go for like the flash animation
style?
It never looks good. But
I thought Battletoads looked good, but I don't prefer that style.
No, I don't either.
Really, because I think like you and Micah both said, like it just makes it look cheap. It just doesn't look right.
I mean, I get it, but
the thing because when I first saw it, my initial reaction was like, ooh, this is pretty ugly looking.
Yeah.
But then as the trailer went on and they started kind of like showing a bit more close-ups of the graphics, I pointed out on Twitter that the look of the characters and just kind of the shading they use in it looked kind of like and I'm sure that they were not going for this because nobody remembers this but me, apparently. But on PBS ages ago, there was a show called Mystery. And Mystery, the opening sequence,
theme
it had an iconic opening theme that was animated by Edward Gorey, who is a very famous kind of gothic illustrator, and just the look of the characters, that kind of cut out paper doll puppet with the shading that they use in it, it looked like the old Edward Gorey animation, and I was like, maybe it kind of works now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just the trailer itself. Once it wasn't that art style didn't completely put me off or anything like that. And as you watch the trailer, you see obviously like they're making a lot of it looks like an amalgamation of ghosts and goblins and ghouls and ghosts, because there was definitely some ghouls and ghosts bosses that were being shown off during the trailer too. So I mean, I definitely want to play it.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up grabbing it. Hopefully it's not like a full price. I assume it wouldn't be a full price.
I assume it's $20 at most, right?
Still excited about it. But just I don't know, man. That animation style does nothing for me.
You have like 2 months to look at it again. It comes out in February, right?
Yeah.
Is it that
and
soon?
Then I think so. Yeah. So we saw a first trailer of the Initiative's inaugural game. So the Initiative is a Microsoft Game studio that they founded a couple years ago, I think, in Santa Monica, and they've just been like attracting talent from other AAA developers. So it was rumored for a long time that their first game was going to be Perfect Dark related. In fact, it is.
And boy, is it ever.
Dark. It's definitely Perfect Dark. An eco sci-fi shooter is how they described it in the trailer. What do you think of this?
I will definitely give it a play. I don't know why, because I don't have any particular love for Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I don't either.
Me either.
But I want to try it. Definitely want to try it.
The original Perfect Dark, I mean, it's a shooter, but it's like a very tongue-in-cheek, like almost cartoony shooter with the aliens and everything. Like it's got kind of a serious veneer to it, but it's not serious. You know what I'm saying? And then Perfect Dark Zero tried to be, I don't know what Perfect Dark Zero tried to be. It was an awful game. I get motion sickness from Perfect Dark Zero in less than 15 minutes.
All I remember of Perfect Dark Zero was that flashing arrow on the ground.
Flashing arrow on the ground to tell
and
you
also Shu and Che not disagreeing with each other about that game.
But I mean, it seems interesting. Like this was just a CG trailer, really telling you nothing about the game other than Perfect Dark's back.
Yeah,
get excited. But with the amount of talent that's behind it, and the fact that it's Microsoft's like big AAA studio play, I don't know, could be interesting.
Yeah, I'll play it.
They own Rare, and yet Perfect Dark is being done by the Initiative.
If it's on Game Pass, which I'm assuming it will be, I will give it a play.
Of course, yeah. All right, we found out the Flight Simulator is coming to the Xbox next summer.
Yeah, it's a long time away.
It's a while.
A little bit of a wait.
It's a while. I'll play it, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play it.
We got a trailer for a new Evil Dead game.
Yeah.
How many times have they tried to bring Evil Dead? Yeah, a 4-player.
Yeah, another Left 4 Dead clone.
It looks good. I mean,
it looked good.
The references to all the first movie, really. I mean, there were references to, I think.
Who were the other? Were the other characters from the television show? Right, Ash versus the Evil Dead, or no? Was it unrelated completely?
I don't know.
Because I've not seen the TV series.
I've only seen the first couple episodes. I need to sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I want to as well. But
was Ash in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's the main character. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the show's called Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's true. Why
that is the show. They kill him off in the first episode. He never comes back.
It's just a bunch of characters you never heard of, just wondering, boy, where's Ash? We got to go find Ash. He's not in this house. Maybe he's in the next town over.
Quips. Yeah. And then the last one I want to highlight here is the Callisto Protocol. So this game is a Dead Space looking survival horror thing from Glenn Schofield, something like that.
Sure, that's exactly right.
Guy who worked on the original Dead Space is doing this game, and apparently he wants to make it even scarier than he wants to be the most scariest game, survival horror game. And this is actually related to the PUBG universe. I don't know if you know that.
Okay,
PUBG
wait a minute. Now I'm less excited.
I don't know anything about the PUBG universe.
That's right. Yeah. You don't need to know anything about the PUBG
universe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Is that
So
that's the one where the guy's got like the welding helmet? Is that game?
Yeah.
That's the one.
The welding mask game. Yeah. Okay.
Why did you have to ruin this for me?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I thought you knew about that. So Crafton Inc. is the publisher, and they are responsible for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG. And this game is allegedly a part of the PUBG universe, even though it's set in space and it's a survival horror game, completely unlike PUBG. But there you go.
Okay, well, that dampened my spirits a little bit.
But the trailer looked good.
Oh, the trailer looked amazing.
I'm fine with it. Yeah. You can be in any game universe you want. If you look this good, and you're gonna make a scary survival horror game, and
until Ninja shows up or something as a character. Oh, sorry, that's Fortnite.
Ninja doesn't play PUBG. Come on,
he's too cool for PUBG.
That's Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, that's even better. But you aren't you excited about Near Replicant version 1.22474487139?
No,
me neither. I can't believe they got them to read that out when they announced the trailer. A couple of the trailers that I saw that I was also excited about. That Shady Part of Me game looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's PlayStation, right? Yeah.
Which one was that?
It looks like it looks like it must be a puzzle platformer with an interesting art style.
What?
Just to bring back an old. Don't you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah,
Mike used to say that all the time. It looks like you're controlling a shadow, but you're also controlling that character in the real world to manipulate objects to let the shadow move around.
Right, and I think that's out now.
Is it?
Oh, I think that was a shadow drop.
Oh, okay. The launch
shadow drop.
I get it.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Nice job.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Open Roads looks really interesting. It's also PlayStation.
Yeah.
If I remember
which
correctly.
one? You're gonna have to describe these things.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because I don't know what you're talking. Open Roads.
Is that the one with the
two
people like driving around in the car?
Yeah, they're driving through like an autumn.
Right, the one that it's Carrie Russell.
Two women in the car,
right?
Oh
yes.
yeah.
It's what's the name of the company that's doing it? Isn't it Don't Nod? Or did I get that wrong?
Don't think
so.
Yeah,
no, Annapurna. Yeah. Okay. And then the Season looked really great too.
Yeah.
Which is just I mean, I don't even know how to describe what's happening in it, but it still looks really interesting.
Yeah.
It almost looks like I would call it a walking simulator if he wasn't on a bicycle the whole time.
Oh, right.
It's a biking
but also has a unique art style.
It has a unique art style.
Yeah.
I was excited to see some more gameplay from Hood, which is the 4-player.
Yeah, that was one of the ones you called.
PvEVP games.
Yeah, explain that. PEVP. Say,
and your friends you're doing like a heist, right? That's versus the computer, basically. Okay. But another team of players can be in that same game and trying to prevent you from escaping with the loot. That's your other VP in there. So you're
okay. So that final P is sus. Is that what you're saying?
That final P is so sus. Yeah.
My goodness.
I feel dirty even saying that.
I think we need to play Among Us on stream sometime.
No, we do not.
Yeah, we should. Be fun. Anyway.
The one more thing that I thought looked really cool was that It Takes Two.
Oh, the Fares game. Joseph Fares.
Yes. Yeah. It just I mean, it's got an interesting art style. It's just another sort of co-op game, but it just looks it's got way more personality. What was their previous game called?
A Way Out.
A Way Out, which
and
apparently
Brothers,
is good.
A Tale of Two Sons.
Oh, did they do Brothers as well?
Yes.
Okay. Brothers I thought was okay. A Way Out I've heard is good, but I didn't like the way it looked really generic. If I remember correctly. I really whereas It Takes Two, like the art style in it looks pretty cool. So basically it looks like you're just two characters that have been shrunk down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
a man and his wife, right?
A man and his wife that have been shrunk down. And then I guess you're on a quest to not be shrunk down anymore. I don't know, but it looks really cool. I really liked the look of it. And speaking of references to shows that probably nobody listening will get, the animation, especially on the female character, reminded me so much of Sid the Science Kid. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. You didn't like that show?
The animation in Sid the Science Kid is horrible because it's like that crappy like motion capture.
Motion capture.
Sid the Science Kid is the like
the Jim Henson style.
Yeah, the Jim Henson CG cartoon.
CG, yeah.
Yeah, where it was all like, because it was all like performance capture type stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Show.
Was it?
Yeah, that's why it looked all like weird and floaty.
Well, that's what when the woman walked around in the trailer, that's what it reminded me of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I should go back and watch that. Oh, yeah. I could not stand when Finn watched Sid the Science Kid just because I hated the animation so much.
Such exacting standards for everything.
I do.
Yeah. Anyway, that game looks really neat to me.
Yeah.
I hope it's I mean, unless one of my kids decides they want to play it with me, I hope it's got online play. I don't think it does because it looks like it's split screen, but
although A Way Out had online play.
Did it? Okay.
And it was split screen as well, so I wouldn't
necessarily count this out.
But it's I would imagine it's an EA game, so it might be on EA Play, it might be on Game Pass.
There you go.
Good. Although EA doesn't put out like their new games on Game Pass, just a trial usually, but like I think Star Wars Squadrons is still just the 10-hour trial.
Oh, I should download that. Anyway,
on there.
Yeah, just wanted to throw those ones out there too, but I the show has, at least the Game Awards isn't embarrassing anymore, because there was a while there that it was getting a little embarrassing. You know what I mean?
There was a little while.
The Chickman years and stuff like that.
And even that, I think you can sort of overlook as it's the reason why they're able to do the show in the first place. Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Who's it hurting? Nobody.
Oh man.
All right, so should we get into what you've been playing? I know none of us have been playing Cyberpunk 2077.
That's true.
Has anybody really been playing it?
I've been enjoying the various glitches posted on social media, like the clipping through the pants stuff. That's always fun.
What do you do?
Did you hear about that? Yeah, the player's genitalia clips through his pants.
Jesus,
it's funny.
I saw somebody. What was it? Somebody posted something on Twitter that really irritated me, and I know that really just describes Twitter, but like something about, I can't believe they spent time on this when they could have been doing that. And it's like, you're talking about a game that had hundreds of developers and dozens of teams,
thousands
like,
of people.
Somebody spending time on the whole genitalia selection thing probably had nothing to do with what you're talking about. Like, I just
the quest system.
Like, it's not five
the quest
people
system
working
and the
linearly
genitalia team are completely different. They're in different rooms,
exactly.
Different sections.
Team genitals wasn't even in the same country as team whatever. Team menu.
They outsourced that stuff.
Outsourced the genitals.
Outsourced the genitals.
Oh my.
Anyway, I just remember seeing it and thinking, oh my god, one has nothing to do with the other. Come on.
And I have realized I probably won't pick up Cyberpunk because I just could never play it.
Because of the genitals thing?
Because of there's that, and also apparently just the language, and there's all the
what did you expect?
Sex toys around.
Oh, just that's the room you don't let Charlotte go into? Is that
all over the place? In the game. So, not appropriate. Not appropriate.
Inappropriate.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't play that. I had to turn off blood in Assassin's Creed. I'm not going to be able to play Cyberpunk out in the open. Anyway,
sleep.
She goes to sleep at like 10 o'clock, dude.
What is wrong with you?
Do that. I don't know.
My
I don't know.
13-year-old still goes to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She hates me
for
it.
But that sounds like a paradise.
Oh,
anyway, so I guess we should now get into what you've been playing. So, Greg, why don't you kick us off?
I didn't write anything down here because I hadn't really been playing anything new, although I will say the NHL 94, I forget what they're calling it, remake or...
Right, that's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass because people have been mentioning it before, but I think it was just a purchase, a bonus if you purchased NHL 2020 or 21, whatever the latest one is. Which I stopped playing that series ages ago, not because I didn't like it, mostly because I just didn't want to make time for it, because normally when I get into a sports game like that, I want to be able to play a whole season, and a whole season in a hockey game is 84 games plus playoffs if you're lucky enough to make it, which I have about a 50-50 shot at that. But so I get the game and I try to play through a season. I make it a quarter of the way through before the next one would come out, and I just finally gave up on it. However, the NHL 94
or whatever.
Rewind, that's what it's called. Thank you. Is a fantastic replica of NHL 94 on the, I'm going to say it's the Genesis version. I never played the Super Nintendo one, with modern teams and modern rosters. But it plays exactly like the old game. It looks exactly like the old game, except it's not widescreen. It's 4:3. And man, I was having a blast. Played a few games of that. Really loved it. Oh God, just tons of nostalgia for that. Like the NHL games were obviously Madden was big around here, sure. But as far as like people discovering the Genesis for its sports games, when the NHL game came out, that was the game that all my friends, like I had a Genesis, and that was the game that all my friends wanted to play when it came out on the Genesis. And 94 was, in my opinion, the best of that era of those games. And I think in a lot of people's opinion, because I mean, there's still people who have been updating the rosters manually and hacking ROMs of NHL 94, and they still have online tournaments and things like that. Like there's a massive and very dedicated community behind the NHL 94 game. So it's really cool that they would release it and that they would update it, and that it would, but it even does the same thing. Like it's, is it Bill Barr? Anyway, whoever the commentator is will do like a quick rundown of the teams, and they go through the rosters, and they even do the black and white profile photos of all the players like they did back in 1993, but it's all modernized, and I love it.
So
it even sounds like an old Genesis game. Like it's just everything about it. It's really nice. So if you have any of a bit of, if you have nostalgia for that game and you're a Game Pass member, you should absolutely download it and play it. Or if you've just always heard about that game, and people waxing nostalgic about it, now you get a chance to try it. I don't know if you love it or not. I mean, it's still got the same weird sort of finicky physics and things like that the old games did. And like if you turn on offsides, I played one game with offsides turned on, and because of the momentum system in the game, my God, we would play 30 seconds and the game would be whistled offside. Like it's that's no good. You got to turn that off. But
yeah, you
I'm
really got to turn off the offsides.
There you go. But I'm kind of happy that they at least.
What is offsides, Phil?
It feels authentic.
It's like bumper bowling.
Offside? No, not at all.
They put big foam tubes along the sides, so if you try and run out of bounds, you just kind of bounce back into.
Why are you running down the bowling alley?
That's when you're watching a 4:3 image, because they've cut off the sides. Offsides is the 4:3 image.
Phil disappeared.
I disappeared. There I am. I'm back. I think there I am.
There you are.
When you're running down the soccer pitch.
We're talking about hockey.
When you're running down the hockey pitch and it bounces you back in. You see.
Anyway,
I love
I'm really enjoying it. This is great. It's a great little freebie.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it wasn't free initially, but it's part of Game Pass.
I'm really glad that they decided to put it out there.
It's free for everybody, but if you have Game Pass, yes.
Yeah.
Would you say it scores a hat trick of excitement?
Yes, I would say that.
That's like a turkey. That's like getting a turkey, but in hockey.
Getting a turkey?
Please, Phil, explain the turkey.
Turkey, they are large birds that we use as food sometimes. A turkey is when you are bowling and you score 3 strikes in a row.
There you go. See, you know that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd never heard
That's
that.
a turkey.
Yep, that's a turkey.
Yep.
3 strikes in a row.
3 strikes in a row.
Yep.
But I mean, I watched The Big Lebowski a lot, and they never used the term turkey.
Yeah, it's a turkey.
Because they got to mark it 0. All right, Phil.
Yeah?
I guess, Greg, are you done?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Phil.
Yeah?
What about you? What have you been playing?
A lot of bowling games, strangely enough.
Yeah?
No, not really. Although I do enjoy a good bowling video game.
Me too.
Let me tell you.
Me too.
Hey!
Nestor's Bowling?
Nestor's Funky bowling. Nestor just doesn't put his name on any old bowling game. It has to be the proper amount of funky. Remember last week when I was talking about the Nintendo new 3DS?
You were brandishing your 3DS angrily at the camera.
Dead battery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered what may or may not have been a legitimate replacement battery because they are hard to find.
I do recall this.
And let me point out that after I posted that, I had people responding to me on Twitter saying, "Oh, what about this battery?" and sending me links to different 3DS batteries. And it was they were always sending me the link to either the standard 3DS battery, the original model 3DS battery, or for the new 3DS XL battery, neither of which are compatible with the smaller new 3DS.
Yeah.
And every time I was just like, I know about that. I know Nintendo has that one in stock. That's the wrong one.
You seem angry, Phil.
I was
very perturbed
livid
by this. Okay.
Livid.
You should take a deep breath, meditate a little bit.
But I received my order from the reseller on Walmart.com.
Yeah.
And after I washed the gunk off the battery.
Ew. What?
No, I was being facetious. I was having a little fun with it. No, I posted a picture on my Twitter account. And
yeah, but this is an audio podcast, so tell us about
it. Which is why I'm continuing. I mean,
can't just say I posted a picture.
There was an implied comma at the end of that sentence fragment. I had not stopped my statement.
Okay. Continue on then.
You interrupted me before I could finish my sentence. I posted a picture to my Twitter account, comma.
Yes.
And you could see by those pictures that the two batteries looked nigh identical.
Okay.
It looked legitimate. The text on the battery was not weird and blurry or anything. There were no spelling errors on any of the text on the thing.
Nintendo.
Exactly. It looked
Nintendo.
Apparently this is a battery for my 3DS.
Yeah.
But the only difference was the replacement battery for some reason had a sticker on the back that said void if removed, which I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of that would be.
Okay.
But
you find out these are from demo kiosks.
I'm wondering if it is. I'm wondering if someone found a warehouse full of demo batteries or something. But But I put it in and charged it up, and it seems to work.
It works, all right.
It's legit. I mean, it's holding a charge.
Started the fire?
No fire. Okay. It's holding a charge for a long time. It's not like draining after an hour.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll let it, use it for a few more weeks and see if it continues to hold its charge. But I think it might be real. So
okay.
Yay me.
Hooray? Question mark?
Yeah. So I was messing around. I was playing some Nintendo 3DS these past few days, just bouncing around, playing random games. I played some of those Sega 3D classics, because I have all of those.
Good stuff.
Playing some 3D Sonic, playing
Good
some 3D Altered Beast.
Excellent stuff.
For about 40 minutes.
Well, that's how long it takes to beat the game.
Yeah. But yeah, I was playing a little new Super Mario Brothers 2.
That's a good game. That's the coin centric one, right?
Yes.
I liked that game.
Yeah, I actually really liked that one. Yeah. New Super Mario Brothers, the original one, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's a perfectly fine game.
Same with the Wii one.
Yeah.
Wii one's fine.
But New Super Mario Brothers 2 I actually really enjoyed.
Me too.
But yeah, so I've just been bouncing around playing some of that stuff, played some like Cave Story, and
you got name checked, by the way, on Games Beat Decides.
What's that?
Podcast. Jeff Grubb mentioned your 3DS Vision Quest.
Oh, good.
On the most recent episode.
I'll have to listen to that. Boy, I apparently I got name checked on Retronauts recently.
Oh, really?
Because my good pal Bill Mudron was on a recent episode, and he called me out for something or other.
Yeah,
and I got name checked on.
Was it a good thing?
I hope so. Gosh, I don't think I've done anything to upset Bill lately.
He'd be one of the few.
You haven't visited him in a while.
That's also true. Yeah. But I mean,
pandemic's been your friend.
Pandemic.
Yeah. And I got name checked on Ice Cream Social recently as well.
Oh, there you go.
So you're a man about town.
Man about town.
I'm a social podcast butterfly.
The potosphere.
For not actually appearing on any of these podcasts, I am certainly the talk of the podcast town. My goodness.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah. Where on Ice Cream Social, I was dubbed Filthy Bald. Because I guess a listener couldn't quite understand what Paul was saying when he mentioned my name. So thought my name was Filthy Bald.
And you're here to say that's not the case?
I'm
clear the record.
I
nothing wrong with it. In fact, show your driver's license. You've changed your name to Filthy Bald.
It's a perfectly legitimate name that I will very much respond to. So
if shouted at me up on the street,
yes, I will turn around. Yes, I did. When I was teaching, I did have a student who started to address me and was having trouble because I have a stupid last name. We all know it. This kid was having trouble pronouncing my last name. And started off, Mr. And then just settled on Mr. Thunderbolt.
That's pretty
That's
great.
Good.
Which I was like, you know what?
Which you didn't correct, I assume.
That's absolutely
can't correct that.
That is correct.
I am Mr. Thunderbolt.
Yes, for the rest of the year, please, you will refer to me as Mr. Thunderbolt. Goodness gracious. Yeah. You know what else? I completely forgot this game existed. But I was playing a bit of it. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here. It is Sanrio Characters Picross.
Also by Jupiter.
This is actually in my Picross folder where I have all my Picross games.
I miss
folders. That's excellent.
You got Pikachu and Zelda Picross in there. Yeah. All my
a lot
Picross
of P
games.
in that folder.
A lot of P. I like to keep my P where I can keep track of it. So I always know how much I generated during the course of the year.
So much water.
Well, yeah, you got to, stay hydrated. But yeah, I picked up Sanrio Character Picross back in the day and never finished it. So I was playing a little Hello Kitty Picross, which I will say, while it is a fantastic Picross game, of course, because it's a Jupiter developed Picross game, it suffers a bit from the same problem as the creepy little anime animal game on Switch.
Kimono Friends.
That's the one.
That is creepy.
Yes, because much like that game in Sanrio game, you're basically, all the puzzles are just little, the characters' faces. So they all end up, all the puzzles feel kind of similar because you're all kind of making circular shapes with, the various facial features in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that. That was. Yeah. I mean, I could live with the creepiness of the whole thing.
Right.
I sort of tune it out, but yeah, every puzzle felt the same.
The puzzles feel super repetitive, and it
was the same thing with the Lord of the Nazareth. It wasn't every puzzle, but a large percentage of them were faces.
Yeah,
so you always had that big area in the center that had almost nothing.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like I'm over this.
Yeah, it's the problem with those kind of licensed games where you are just making character faces. So, you know what else I picked up this week?
What's that?
On a whim, on the whim on the Nintendo Switch, because they have a bunch of games on sale for the holidays and for the Game Awards and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I picked up Snake Pass.
Snake Pass.
You seen this game? Have you heard about this game?
Came out originally like within the first month of the Switch.
It's an old it's an older game on the Switch. It's on sale currently for $5.
Okay.
And I had some gold coins backed up, so I got it for free.
You don't want your gold coins to get too backed up. You got to go to the hospital if that doesn't clear itself
problem.
From playing too many new Super Mario Brothers too.
It is hard to pass those.
Yeah.
But so have you seen this game? Have you played this game?
I have. I played this game, in fact. Yeah, I played it on the Switch.
Yeah, so I remember CJ
2017.
About this.
Yeah. So this game,
probably on this year's Game Awards.
You are a snake. You control a snake
each level.
And the control, it's kind of a physics-based platformer kind of thing, because you move like a snake. To move forward, to slither forward, if you will, you hold down the R button, and that causes you to move forward. But in order to keep up momentum, you have to kind of serpentine.
Yeah,
you got to serpentine. You got to move left and right on the old analog stick to keep the slithering going. Otherwise, you start to lose power and you kind of just run out of steam and stop.
Yeah.
And then if you press the A button, you raise your little snake head up, which allows you to climb up branches, or
you know what? I think I played this too.
Yeah, snake around things, and it's tricky.
It is tricky
to get to kind of get an understanding of how your snake moves, because it behaves like an actual snake. Like if you're trying to get over like a tree branch or something, and if you just kind of get your head over it and then stop, the weight of your snaky body is going to pull you back down off of it. So you have to make sure you kind of get over or wrap yourself around another branch to kind of give yourself some purchase on whatever surface you're trying to get on. But it's not bad. It's a cute little game.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah,
I think they did update the controls since it first launched, because originally the controls were kind of fiddly and more fiddly than they are now.
Oh, really?
But they released Snake Pass on other systems,
right,
other than just Switch, and fixed it, and then patched the Switch game too.
Okay.
I believe. So,
yeah. But for $5
or free,
for free
with your gold points, not bad.
It's a cute little game. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's tough though.
Yes.
Because it's got that kind of collect-a-thon-ish mentality to it, where there's you got to get all the coins, and they're tucked away in sometimes tricky to get to locations, and the world you're on, there's drop-offs. You're not just in like a big open world. You're in a stage that's floating in the sky, and and sometimes you have to kind of go out over empty space and slither around on outcropping sticks and such to get some of the secret coins. And if you screw up, you fall and you're dead.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the checkpoints seem a little unforgiving because, if you die, you can get knocked back real far and they take away any of collectibles that you may have gotten.
You have to redo everything.
Yeah. So it's a little unforgiving, but it's kind of cute. It's kind of neat.
$5.
So for $5 or for free,
it's not bad.
Not too bad. But yeah, that's really about all I've been playing this week. Nothing new or terribly exciting.
Crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I tried a new game on Game Pass called Monster Sanctuary. This game is a Metroidvania-like game, but you are Egavania? Is that
no? That's nope.
Is that the correct Metroid style game?
Metroid style, yeah.
Metroid style.
Play any good shmups lately, CJ?
God, here we go.
Exploration game, but it's a platformer basically. But the combat is all very Pokemon like. You collect and train and level up monsters that you then battle other monsters with and things like that. So it's got kind of a Pokemon mechanic to it.
Sounds like you should just be playing Pokemon.
I mean, sure. Yeah, why not?
I mean, sounds like a good idea anytime.
But this is a retro-styled 16-bit style graphic side-scroller Metroid style game, you see. This does...
Wow. Sly. Wow, we got to get to see this raccoon is Sly.
So I played a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You can give your monsters various items to power them up and use experience points to level up their skills and attacks, and they have passive skills as well. And of course, like Pokemon, there's sort of a rock, paper, scissors style elemental chart where certain things are strong versus another element. And you can have 6 monsters in your party, but you only battle 3-on-3. So before a battle, it'll ask you if you want to choose your monster layout, your loadout. And you can look and see what the weaknesses are of the AI characters you're about to go against and pick those in your party that are best suited to match up against those.
This looks kind of cute. I'm looking at some screenshots of it right now.
Another thing that it does in battle is it gives you a buff on your attack based on how many successful attacks connect with your opposing party. So there's a little bit of a strategy where like a weaker monster, if you have them attack first, they get a couple attacks in, and then the percentage damage that a stronger monster will do later will give you an advantage in battle. So you want to do that. So I think overall it's done very well. It's a little strange that like it's a Metroid style game where you're exploring around and all of the enemies are these 3-on-3 monster battles.
Right.
So anytime you see a group of enemies, it's always a group of 3. So that's a little strange, but other than that, like it's a really interesting mechanic, and I like Metroid style games, so I like monster collecting, so it's a whole thing. But yeah, I've been having a bit of fun of it. It is on Xbox Game Pass, as well as available on pretty much every platform. So you probably have a way to try it out if you'd like. Yeah, it's on the Switch, it's on PlayStation 4 or 5, and it's on Game Pass. Although not on Game Pass PC. It's on Game Pass console.
You know what the graphics kind of remind me of?
Sid the Science Kid?
Yeah, a little bit like Sid the Science Kid, but with better animation, because it's not that...
I didn't say it was good. I said it reminded me of it. I didn't say it was good.
Okay.
Let's not...
It reminds me of a little of Terraria.
Yeah, I could see that.
You ever play that Terraria game?
I have not played it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes. It's kind of like Terraria is kind of like side-scrolling Minecraft.
Yes.
Yeah. The graphics look
This is like that. And
bit,
outside of
battle, more
detailed.
You
can do things like certain monsters will have things that you can do outside of battle. So like you get a bird type monster that will allow you to levitate over pits and things, or jump a little higher. Or the character that I picked as my starter is like a lion that's sort of a fire type lion, let's say. And you can do like a scratch type attack that will demolish like hidden walls in the environment. So there's a couple fun elements like that.
Quick Jeff Grubb update.
Yeah.
If his Twitter is anything to be believed, he has found Christmas lights.
Did find some Christmas lights.
He found them. Okay.
He did find, and holy crap, he found
the mother lode.
He's posted a picture on his Twitter.
Lights?
All of them.
I mean, yes. He's standing in front of he's standing in front of a house that looks like it looks like it was intentionally.
God, that's
right.
So that's projection, right?
Oh, is that projection?
They have to be using a projector on that or something.
Is that a projector? That's not all like just lights.
Because
the front of this. Maybe. Jeff, report in. Are those lights or is that a projector? Because it looks like it looks like one of those kind of like ugly Christmas sweaters.
But some of those.
Oh yeah. But if it was a house.
But like Province House here, which is where our provincial government meets.
Okay.
They have used a big projector or projectors on the building this year, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
That's a lot of Christmas lights there.
Well,
I'll link to that in the show notes. So
please do. Please do.
See what we're talking about here. And so I also played some more Fenyx Rising. I'm about 14 hours in on this game now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like, I think it scratches that Breath of the Wild itch without the destructible weapons. And the combat is really good. Like, I'm leveling up everything in a decent clip where at this point I'm maybe a little bit overpowered for the enemies that I'm fighting, which is a good thing, making it a little bit easier. But I got into the second main area of the game. It looks a lot different from the environment in the first sort of area. And I've had a lot of fun with it. Still, I'm not really following, I'm not really like too serious into the story. Obviously there is a story, but I'm playing it for the puzzles in the vaults and the combat at this point. It's a very fun sort of open world collectathon game that it's just kind of fun to boot up before bed or after work or something, and do some collecting and monster destroying and have a good old time. So I'm enjoying it from that aspect. You guys aren't interested in Fenyx Rising.
But I love how you try to sell it so hard every week.
It's good. It's so good. So good. Man. It's so good to the point where I'm considering purchasing the season pass for the game, which includes like some side stories and things. I'm not going to yet.
Yes, you are. Every time you say you're not going to buy something, you buy it.
No, but I mean, there were bonuses from Prime Gaming that so I linked my Ubi account with my Twitch Prime account and got like a special armor set with that. And if you connect your Ubi Connect account as well, you get special armor through that. It's a single player game, but it still has Twitch drops and
there you go.
Yeah, a season pass and all that stuff. But I'm having fun with it. I'm not going to spend any additional money on it, but it's a fun game.
Yeah,
I like it. Too bad other people won't be playing it because I think it didn't do so well. But I like it. I like it.
Good.
Yeah,
it's okay for you to like it, CJ.
Thank you.
Not judging you.
Thank you. Don't judge me.
Why you come here like for that?
Judgment?
Every week you like try to justify that you like this game. We get it.
It's okay. Fenyx Rising, it's good.
Y'all can like whatever game you want, man. That's cool.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the freedom. I've been playing some more Red Dead Online.
This one I'm judging you for.
Why?
Especially because you drew my poor friend Mike into it.
I did. I drew Mike into it. Now Mike's playing Red Dead Online with me. This one's pretty fun too. I mean, it's sort of a shared world, story-based game. You can go into. I mean, there's a story to Red Dead Online, where leveling up your cowboy in the Wild West.
Is that a story?
Just like they did in the Wild West.
That's a story, right?
Y'all want to go level
Making
up?
a name for yourself.
Well, I reckon it's about time I level up one or two status update.
Stagecoach coming into town, and I'm almost at level 5.
Yep,
Well,
I got
the various
plus
missions
5 charisma. I'm ready to go.
The various missions that you go on, other players can interrupt the progress of those
good
missions. So in one thing,
it's called Cowboyus Interruptus. And it's not pleasant when it happens to you. Let me tell you.
When it happens, it's not so great.
I'm real close to this stagecoach. I thought, oh, nope.
We had to retrieve a stolen stagecoach back to its back to its original owner.
Well, that doesn't sound right.
So we did that, and a little message comes up on the screen like rival players can steal your stagecoach and cash it in for you, I guess, and take the money.
Well, they're not really cashing it in for you. They're cashing it in
they
themselves.
can finish your quest themselves, right?
Finish you off.
That didn't happen. But we did get into a town where there was a party of 3 players just shooting NPCs wildly, and they just kept spawn killing us. They just kept shooting us. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we don't have, like in this game.
While they were doing that, were they at least yelling "Dance"? Partner.
No, they were not RPing this thing at all. They were just
I paid my 4 bits to see a hard diving act, and I'm gonna see a hard diving act.
They were not doing anything of the sort. No, they were just murdering us, and it was not great. So especially when the quest that you want to start starts in that town where you're getting murdered constantly. But there doesn't seem to be any benefit of murdering other players in Red Dead Online. I don't really get it. Like, you can't collect money off them or anything like that. So why they were doing this, I have no idea. But I am having a bit of fun playing Red Dead Online. Didn't have so much fun with the single player game Red Dead Redemption 2, but the online game is pretty fun so far. Yeah. So that's all I've been playing, really. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm all excited about?
What's that?
The Sega Astro City Mini arcade comes out
soon, right?
Comes out, I believe, is it the 17th? We are recording on the 13th, which is Sunday.
Yeah.
And it comes out on the 17th, which is this Thursday.
Wonder how fast they'll get here.
Hopefully not. I mean, every time I've ordered from Amazon Japan, it's gotten here
fast.
Lickety split.
I've gotten things faster from there than I have from Amazon US and
same here.
Canada.
Same. I mean, and I live practically next door to Amazon's headquarters.
Yep.
But I have.
So we might be talking about this next week.
Well,
then, huh? Maybe.
I don't know if it'll be that quick, but hopefully the week after
quick
that.
Enough.
Just before Christmas, be nice.
Yeah, because I have that ordered. I have I have 2 of the extra joysticks, or not joysticks, but
joy pads,
controllers, the joy pads. I have 2 of those ordered, and then I have the little kind of expansion pack for it, where it comes with the little stand,
right,
and the little stool. Yeah, so I have
right.
I have all that stuff ordered.
I didn't bother going for all that stuff. I wanted it, but I didn't want to go too crazy with it. And thankfully I didn't, because realized today I need to buy a new washer dryer.
So, that's not a video game.
Nice little expense.
What happened?
They haven't been working well for a while now. And
really?
Kind of done. So
that's too bad.
I guess I'm putting that Outrun 1-up machine on hold for a while.
Don't buy front loaders. My advice to you.
These are front loaders. They need to stack. That's the problem.
No.
I don't have room to put them side by side in this house.
They got
what I am considering is getting one of the this is riveting conversation, I'm sure, for anybody listening. One of the like apartment style single units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'll give you an update.
More power to you.
Please do.
Front-loading washers.
Every time I talk about it, I'll be like, this was going to be about the Outrun 1-Up machine. But now it's about my washer dryer.
Oh,
I'm
man.
doing an unboxing video.
What's wrong with the front-loading washing machines, CJ?
Yeah, what's wrong with them, CJ?
Front-loading washing machines. So they have like, when you open the door, they have like a rubber seal, right? So that
they go.
The water doesn't get in. Anyway, unless you like are vigilant about cleaning that seal, it gets moldy.
Very
moldy very quickly, and you don't want that.
And who wants to be vigilant about cleaning anything? So
who wants to be vigilant about cleaning anything, really? Right.
Washing machines and aquariums, the same rule holds true. You do not want a moldy seal.
True that.
So
anyway,
Greg really liked that one. I don't know why, but
terrible.
I think we got some time for some tweets.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, before we dive into tweets, I do want to send my condolences to our good friend from the old EGM days, Trickman Terry Minnick.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Trickman Terry, along with a fellow EGM alumnus, Paul Ojeda. 4 years ago, I want to say, I think it was 4 years ago, opened up an arcade in the Chicagoland area out in the suburbs of Chicago, called Pixel Blast. And look at this, I'm sporting the shirt.
I just wanted to go.
I'm wearing my Pixel Blast arcade shirt in memoriam today. Terry just announced on Facebook a couple days ago that unfortunately he was forced to close the arcade down for good.
Yeah.
Thanks to the COVID. So they had, I know they had been working really hard to try and keep it open during this, with, people could like reserve it for private parties and things like that. They were obviously taking a zillion different precautions to allow people to come in and play, but also be safe. But it just kind of caught up with them, and unfortunately they had to close it down for good, which is a shame because Terry's a great guy, like
completely
the nicest friggin' guy in town, but also because it's a it's an independent arcade. Nice to have an arcade that was run by people who were super into retro gaming and super dedicated to the experience of an old school arcade. So it's always sad to see one of those have to go away. Very lucky. I talked about this on the show a couple years ago. Me and my family had gone back to Illinois over Christmas, and we swung up to Pixel Blast and spent a few hours chilling out with Terry, and Mike Vallis, another old school EGM guy, stopped by.
Yeah.
So we got to hang out with them and just talk and hang out and have fun and play games for a while. And it was a veritable Pixel Blast.
But, wow.
But yeah, it just sucks. And I just wanted to send condolences to Terry. I'm very sorry to hear that.
But not Paul.
Well,
and Paul too.
Paul, I don't know if Paul listens to our show. I can't imagine anyone listening to our show.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, yes, to Terry and Paul, certainly. It sucks. I'm so sorry. You guys did amazing work. You guys made a fabulous arcade. So it blows that circumstances are what they are. But I don't know. Hopefully they can do something in the future once things clear up. I don't know. It'd be nice. But we shall see. We shall see.
All right, let's do tweets.
Tweet.
All right, let's do this one from Acrelius Salted Snake, who says, Phil,
what?
I saw you were playing Snake Pass.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking about it.
To get the controls down pretty easily. I tried the game. For some reason, I couldn't get the hang of the controls. Even after playing for about an hour, maybe it's just me.
Why did you bring this tweet up while he was talking about the game?
CJ.
More fun to bring it up now.
Well, let me see if I can remember what I was talking about.
I also did. The controls did not click with me.
The controls are tricky. They are definitely tricky. It does not play like a platformer. You know, again, if you know, the whole holding down a button to move forward is a little weird for this type of game. You know, you might be used to it in like a racing game or something, but certainly not in something that has the trappings of a platformer. And I mean, I've played, I haven't played much of it. I've played like maybe the first 2 stages. And I'm not used to it yet, 100%. I'm getting a little better at it. Certainly it's tricky, you know, with the, you know, learning when to like raise your snake's head up and let go to make him dip down so you can kind of snake him through different environmental hazards. But I think it's a very clever way that they designed the game. I think it's a neat way to control it. So I certainly haven't mastered it. It'd probably be a stretch to say I'm proficient at it at this point even, but I do think it's a clever control method, and it was fun enough manipulating my snake. That I wanted to keep doing it.
Okay.
I mean, any chance I can get, you know.
Hashtag team genitals.
If my
apparently,
nobody's home, you know, just sit back.
Okay, all right.
Get that snake out.
Snake pass in your hands.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we're done with that conversation.
Let's do this one from Hacker Alias.
It sounds like I'm talking about my wiener.
The Boss Room, who says, seeing that Xbox has many future games announced, are you more excited for the future of Xbox Series consoles or PlayStation 5?
Well, I'm still more excited about PS5 because there's more games I want on
Here's
PlayStation.
Here's the thing about this question. I'm more excited about the near future for PS5 because Ratchet & Clank,
of course,
is coming out. I'm very excited about that.
How?
But in terms of the future, you see how many studios Microsoft has acquired, and the future products coming out of those studios will no doubt be on Game Pass. That is also very exciting. So really the answer is I'm very excited about the video games coming out in the future for either platform. Near term, maybe PS5 has a little bit of an edge over Xbox, but in the future, man, Xbox has a lot of great studios behind them. You know, what could Double Fine do with without having to worry about putting up like a Kickstarter for all of their projects, or like having to, you know, make their ideas on a budget or something. Like I'm really interested on, I mean, obviously they still have to make games on a budget for Microsoft, but I'm curious to see what their output will be like under the Microsoft Game Studios label.
It's just a shame that it wasn't they weren't ready for like a sort of a shotgun blast of new games for the Series X launch.
Right.
It is,
because that launch has been just
video
a
games
wet
take
thud.
time to develop,
and now with the flagship game being pushed back to the end of next year. Like,
I mean, for people who are already in the Xbox ecosystem, the updates for things like Gears 5 and Sea of Thieves and Forza, those are great.
It's not the same as a new game.
It's not the same thing as having like an exclusive launch game for sure.
Right.
Well,
I'm excited for the summer though, with Flight Sim.
I really want to play Flight Sim because I can't play it on my computer. So
I am very excited for Flight Sim.
That'll be pretty great.
Yes.
Let's do this one from Acrelius Can Be 425, who says, I find myself playing more kid-friendly games along with my children and fewer mature games due to prying eyes. I have found enjoyment with games I never would have otherwise. Have you found your gaming tastes have changed due to your offspring?
Well, my game taste is always
geared
towards the juvenile. I mean, goodness gracious. You guys know me.
Right.
You know?
Completely. Yeah.
I have no interest in like any of those army shooter games and stuff like that. I would much rather
You're
play
a bit of an Army Men fan, weren't you?
The art, like the Army Man games.
Air Attack was good.
No, I didn't like any. I didn't like the Army Man. I got poor Ethan chewed out by 3DO because I gave Portal Runner such a bad score.
A lot of us have been there.
Portal Runner was Portal Runner.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I was not into the Army Men games. But I'm talking like the Call of Duty type crap, the that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I've always been more towards give me a childish platformer or a Lego game or some nonsense like that.
Yeah.
Over like an Assassin's Creed.
Your tastes have not changed.
My tastes have not changed. My tastes have remained exactly the same, I suppose.
Yeah. I would say my tastes have changed, but I don't think it's because of having kids. I think they just naturally, because there was a time where I was really into, like you just said, like Call of Duties and stuff like that. Like I was excited to play those every year.
Yeah.
And a Halo and something along those lines. But I still enjoy them, but it's not like I'm not day one, oh my God, got to play this right away anymore. And I haven't been for quite a while.
By the way, have you? I noticed. I think I saw not you. It was probably your son playing Rogue Company.
Probably.
But do you play shooters like Fortnite or Rogue Company or whatever, like with your son or with your kids?
I will, not a whole lot, but I will play them. Yeah, they like that when I play. I'm terrible at them.
That's the thing with Fortnite. I'm terrible at it.
But I mean, I'm kind of like Phil too, because otherwise, like, love a good platformer. Yeah, always been a big racing fan. None of that's changed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the racing, I don't do that as much when my kids are awake because it's boring to watch someone else play that game. But those kinds of games, but yeah, my tastes haven't changed a ton.
Yeah, and as I've been a Nintendo fan forever, I still play games that some might call baby games, but I enjoy them. So yeah, play all that kind of stuff. All right, let's finish up with this one from hacker alias Captain Logan, who says, how great is a game of Sea of Thieves, right? I mean, Sea of Thieves is great, right? Game of the year, yeah? No, he didn't actually say that. Captain Logan, host of the Keelhaul podcast, says, the embargo is up and reviewers have to get their reviews up for those clicks. As a result, journalists and content creators have to grind for days to get the review done. In a pre-day one patch, can the industry move away from pre-day one patch reviews? Obviously, talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
I don't think so. We were talking about this earlier today, CJ and I, before we started we started recording, actually, where I mean, it was kind of like this back in the day. A little bit, because I mean, when we were just let me finish. CJ.
I'll let you finish.
Jeez. Oh boy.
when we were doing magazines, obviously we had quite a long lead time. It wasn't that you got something finished and ready to go online for launch day. It was you got something finished and ready to publish 2 months before the game came out, or a month. It was a long lead time. So sometimes you'd be playing what wasn't a completely 100% finished version of a game, and if you ran into any kind of game breaking issue, I actually remember I ran into something like that with Chrono Cross, where the save file corrupted and I gave the game a 9.5. But the you kind of had this level of faith that like this odd bug would get fixed, that sort of thing. You could call the PR people and maybe talk to a developer and they would say, oh yeah, that's already fixed in the final day's version. But that was years before the idea of a massive day one patch. And so I guess what I'm getting at is, and what I was saying earlier is that, you always sort of had this threshold that you were willing to go on faith that something was going to get fixed.
Yeah.
By the time the game came out. And now it would have to be something's going to be fixed in the day one patch. And boy, with the size of some of these day one patches, I can't imagine the state of some of these games that they're in. And I feel bad for the reviewers
and the developers.
And the developers. But I mean, we're just talking about writing reviews for these things, I feel bad for them because the threshold has to be so much higher now than it once was. But I mean, then the question becomes, and CJ made a point of this too, like, the question becomes, well, what if it gets fixed 2 weeks after the review?
Not even 2 weeks. What if
3 months? Like
there's a hot fix 3 days after the game comes out and after review hits, and now some of the things in your review are no longer accurate.
It'd be real hard to I don't know. It'd be really hard to I'm glad I don't do that job anymore. That's the long and the short of it. I'm really glad I don't have to do that job.
That's man. Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to review games in this day and age for many reasons. But yeah, I remember back in the day, so the original Xbox, Blinks the Time Sweeper came out. Blinks, of course, a game that I actually like. I like Blinks the Time Sweeper. I'm one of the few. But I believe there was some issue later in the game that I wasn't sure if it was going to be fixed. And I called up Microsoft's PR and said, hey, I've run into this issue. Like, is it going to be fixed in the final game? And they were like, oh, yeah, that'll be fixed. The game came out like 3 days later. Like the release was 3 days later and it was not fixed. So to some extent, I don't know how you'd handle that sort of thing. Like if you take PR's word on something's going to get fixed, but then like and I think we were talking about this earlier as well, a place like Digital Foundry does a frame rate analysis on a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they compare and contrast the performance and fidelity modes on the various consoles. And at this point, like there are so many different machines that this game runs on that they have to do, like it's a lot of work, right? Like to try to get a frame rate analysis going. And then Ubisoft puts out a patch a week later that fixes it on 2 of the consoles or whatever, or makes something worse on PS5, which did happen in the case of Assassin's Creed. And suddenly that whole analysis is incorrect or invalidated. Like you kind of have to redo that. And I think this is happening at the beginning of this generation. Hopefully it'll get smoother as time goes on. But if you're the type of person that really nitpicks frame rate or cares about that stuff, like you kind of have to be up on what's being fixed in some of these patches as well. Because some of the analysis videos don't end up being how the game looks or runs later. So yeah, very difficult.
No, I'm real glad we don't do that now. I mean, it was so different back then. You didn't have the day-long patches and what you'd written. I mean, we had to write retractions once in a while. I remember there was a Game Boy game, Game Boy Advance game that I think we reviewed in our launch issue. It was a racing game, and it was sort of like a Gran Turismo style game. And when it came out, when it was actually released, they'd given us the Japanese version to review, because it wasn't ready for review otherwise. And then when the issue came out and the game came out almost immediately, the save feature was gone. They'd gone to a password feature. So we actually ended up re-reviewing the game. What was it called?
Konami Crazy Racers.
No.
No? Okay.
It was more, it was like I said, it was more of a Gran Turismo game.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was launched, but it was early on, and it was just kind of one of those weird things that kind of, I didn't feel like they were hiding anything by not telling us they were taking the battery save out, but it was a big enough deal that we actually got letters about it. It was like, I can't believe you didn't mention that I have to deal with a password system here. So we ended up re-reviewing it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's so small compared to what you deal with now.
Yeah.
Right.
I had heard that reviews of Cyberpunk were largely based on the PC version and not console when it came out. So of course the console releases hit and they look somewhat different than the PC. Like it's a different sort of state in terms of bugs and visuals and things. Of course, on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, this is still playing like the previous gen version in back compat. These are not next gen native versions. But anyway, yeah, a lot harder to review things, and it has to be a lot harder from the publisher standpoint as well, because if you have a team that's trying to fix issues all the way up to the last day, like when do you send it to reviewers? Like, how do you handle a game like Cyberpunk 2077? If you know there are going to be day one problems, just from a PR and marketing standpoint, how do you try to smooth over those issues? Because in the long run, Cyberpunk is going to be a game that I think it'll be fine, right? I mean, they had 8 million pre-orders or something. Like they'll be fine, even with the bugs. But Witcher 3 came out with a lot of bugs, right? When that launched,
I seem to remember that being a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we're going to move away from pre-day one patch reviews. I think that's going to be a thing. I think review outlets just have to handle it the best way that they can. Maybe that's by saying this is a pre-day one patch review. Maybe it's having a review in progress, which many outlets did for Cyberpunk and do for various multiplayer games anyway. Not that Cyberpunk is multiplayer, but that kind of thing is a thing with multiplayer games. We're not going to move away from that. Expect it to continue well into the future. I think that's a podcast.
Which one?
736.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
I should do one of those again soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You should. You'll find Generation 16 episodes like the one currently up there about Pyramid Patrol, where you can hear Greg mispronounce Wings of Oniamis.
Oh, is that how you say that?
You said it like Oniamise or something. I was like,
Oniamise, I think I said.
Oniamise. No, that's incorrect. Oniamis. But anyway, other than that, it's a perfect little retrospective.
CJ watches one episode in 5 years, and all he can do is nitpick the pronunciation of one thing.
I was waiting for that. Yes, indeed. I did not realize Pyramid Patrol had such a motion simulator background. Which I really liked that diversion into that stuff because I was a big fan of Star Tours back in the day. That was a great ride.
I'm glad to hear that because I Ben Rivers, I talked to him a lot while I'm working on these episodes, and while I was working on that, I was really fretting after a while that that middle section was going too deep into that whole subject, and that people would hate it, and so I keep hearing really kind words about it, so I'm really happy. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That, and then I did not realize Pyramid Patrol came out for the 3DO as Pyramid Intruder, and used a lot of the same stuff, same footage, but faster, and actually used some of the background stuff. Yeah, it was very cool. I never realized all that stuff about Pyramid Patrol. Cool. It was a nice tag on to your Laser Active episode.
Thank you.
Liked it a lot. Anyway, there'll be a new episode at some point, I'm sure. You said you're deep in the production of that.
Yeah, I'm there's a good chance it'll be up before the end of this month, but I'm not 100% sure.
Excellent.
So every time I say that, I end up going like a week, and I actually did that this week where in the $5 Patreon weekly video logs that I do, I said like, oh man, I'm just cruising along here. We're so close to having this new episode pretty much finished for early release. And then I went a whole week without working on it. So, every time I say we're close, I end up like hitting some kind of setback. But yeah, it is still to the point that it could be out by the end of the month.
With the holidays coming up too. It's going to be a busy time for everyone.
In a couple weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, you'll also find show notes and links to all of the things that we talked about during this episode. That'll be fun, right? Yeah, we'll probably link to some Super Mario Brothers Super Show, some Superstore, maybe something like that. And you will also find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening application. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show and watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. Follow our Twitter account at P1 Podcast to find out when we are doing our next live show. It's usually Sunday nights, 5:30 specific time. So clear your schedules, man. We're here. We're doing it.
Yeah.
If you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. CJ's going to steal your money. That's what it comes down to.
That's good. Yep.
No, your Patreon dollars do, of course, help support our show. Keeps our zooming, keeps all the behind the scenes costs of running a podcast running for these many years. And if you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
oh, sorry, cheap.
It's cheap, like Greg says.
Gazing at my Christmas tree.
When he remembers, he's distracted by his Tannenbaum over there, but make no mistake, it is cheap. That gives you access to a special weekly bonus episode, a little post show that we record right after this, where we play games, we crack wise, we have fun doing all the things we can't do on the regular show. CJ, do we have a game set up this week?
We do. Another Jeopardy game.
Oh, we got another Jeopardy game.
Yes.
Is this a listener provided Jeopardy game?
Of course it is, yes.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
Now spoiler alert.
From last week? You want to spoil
Last week, we had our first clean sweep, right?
Clean sweep.
Where we cleared the board. We got every question right. That's never happened before.
There were a couple nail biters.
There were
a couple.
There were, but we did it.
Sure if we were going to
powered through.
We did.
We absolutely did it. So will it happen again this week? Probably not.
I'm going to say no.
But let's find out. Join us for that, won't you please, friends?
Yes.
And of course, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com, where you will find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And like I said, if you want to be a patron of the $5 persuasion,
also cheap.
There you go.
There it is.
You have access to weekly video logs about the production of the show and some of the different things I use for research and all kinds of other fun stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. I recommend you do it.
Yes.
Like Phil.
Like me, I am a Patreon supporter of Greg Stewart's.
No, I am too.
And so CJ.
Yeah, but I mean.
I am too.
I am too. Cripes.
Funny.
Okay, is that it?
I think that's
CJ.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for doing what it is you do.
Yeah.
Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Oh, well, thank you for the thank you. And of course, thank you to our wonderful listeners out there, every single one of you. You are just the best. We love you. We appreciate you. We hope you are staying safe. Please take care of yourself, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Wear a mask. Enjoy the holidays.
Yeah.
Be cool to each other. And
be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Like from that movie.
Yeah.
Dude, where's my car? And we will see you next week, my friend.